Yo, guys, Red Marvel here, back again with another movie review, belated, but it's The Flash. And yeah, let's get into it. But before we get into it, if you're on the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel, follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Links are in the description. On the road to 500 subscribers, guys. Let's get to 500 subscribers. I'm gonna try as best I can to put more content out on this channel. So bear with me, it is coming. But yeah, guys, yeah. Wow. The Flash. The Flash. Yeah. Guys, all I can say, I know it's been out for a while now, but all I can say is this was a very, very mediocre movie. I'm sorry. I really am. It had so much potential, and of course, it was overshadowed by everything around Ezra Miller and the events around that. But I generally thought that maybe this might be okay. I tried to avoid as many spoilers as possible. Um, in retrospect, I don't think it personally mattered. Um, Obviously, there's spoilers in this, by the way, spoilers if you've not watched it already. But fundamentally, the plot hinges on Barry Allen going back in time to save his mother's life and try and prove the innocence of his dad. That's why it gets into detective or crime investigating and what have you, um, and that hinges on him basically getting, is it ketchup or some fruit, whatever it is, so that his dad doesn't have to go back and leave away. You never really see the person who actually killed his mom, which I think is a bit odd. I know in the comics it's the Reverse Flash, and maybe they kind of wanted to allude to that, but I just thought it was weird. Like, I don't get why. I personally, as someone who loves the Reverse Flash, I don't get why they didn't bring the Reverse Flash into this. Reverse Flash is key, is pinnacle to the Flash's character and Barry Allen. And the fact that you don't know who basically killed Barry Allen's mother is odd to me. So they never show it in the movie. What you do see is two Barry Allens in an alternative world where Zod still exists, where Batman is basically 1989 Batman, Keaton's Batman, and then you have a super girl instead of a man, who I actually had no problem with her character. I think she's a good character, but I'll get onto one of the big problems I have with the movie in a second. But they really didn't do much of her. She was just a tough Kara girl, not blonde, fair enough, but that was it. And yes, okay, Ezra Miller's acting is actually not that bad. I personally felt on this, especially when he's superimposed to a guy who's even more annoying than he is. Um, and the plot kind of strings a long way. He loses his powers, the main Flash. He gives it to the other Flash without reality, and has to get his powers back again to try and reverse things. But yeah, to be honest, it falls flat, guys. It falls flat. I mean, there isn't really a main bad in the sense that Zod comes and he's just dry. There's no interaction with him. He's just a base villain. Does Keaton's Batman do work a bit? But to be honest, aside from a few action scenes, it just feels more like a cameo, more than nothing. Yeah, he's in it a bit, but not enough for me to sway the movie. But the biggest thing I have with this movie, and what I'm going to focus on a lot, is the CGI was awful. The CGI in this movie was so bad. I thought I was actually watching. In fact, the Flash TV series at times had better CGI than this movie, and that's insane, given the fact that this is a $250 million plus movie. The CGI in this movie was terrible. It was so bad. So bad. So bad. It was so bad. It was really, really, really bad. Really bad. And yeah, it was just bad. It was bad. There's no excuse for it. So that was one of my main hiccups with this, especially having watched this movie after Spider-Verse. You know what I mean? But overall, of course, naturally they can't fix this reality. They can't make this reality best. They can't fight. It's going to die. And there's the final connotation, is the altercation between what is essentially a slightly future Barry-ish who keeps on going back and back and back and back to try and fix this rad, but starts to go insane because of it. Not really a reverse Flash in the sense that he's not the one that goes back to kill Barry's mum, but yeah, in the end, it gets sold. And the other worst thing about this movie, that's part of the multiverse, because everyone is multiversing now. Only Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, your big boy Miles, is the only one to have done it actually well. The multiverse they show here is it's so this again really bad CGI, showing the different iterations of DC all over the place. It's just rushed. It's lethargic. It's some outright disrespectful to a certain Superman, and it left a sour taste in my mouth. This movie was mediocre. It was. I'm not going to say it was garbage, but what I will say is that it just, yeah, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it at all. But guys, let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe below. And yeah, just pass on this movie. 2 out of 5, just pass. Peace.